Okay, Raja, as I said, thank you very much. A pleasure to have you here and a privilege to. And let's just start with the first question. Well, this year, if I'm not wrong, marks your 10th anniversary at Mastercard. And I would like you to look back a little and see what has been the high points, the best experiences, and perhaps some not so good or something that you are still trying to achieve within the company. How has been your time this decade in at Mastercard for you?
So I would say this has been an extraordinary year, extraordinary decade, actually. Over the last 10 years, I have had nothing but phenomenal experiences. I would say there are a few highlights. The first highlight is that we have completely revamped the marketing strategy of MasterCard, taking some very, very big bets. For example, we moved away from advertising-led marketing to experiences-led marketing. That was a big bet. It paid off very well. We went into areas like sonic branding, giving an audio identity for the brand, and it has now become the world's #1 audio brand for the last 3 years continuously. We got into multi-sensory marketing, leveraging all the five senses of consumers as opposed to just audio and video. We went into that sense of taste, sense of touch, sense of smell, and trying to reach the consumer in immersive fashion across all the five senses. We have done tremendous amount of stuff around true purpose drivenness. So we believe that we can do well as a company by doing good to the society. And we brought so many programs to life like Stand Up to Cancer, World Food Program, Priceless Planet, Black Lives Matter. We had done something called Strivers. So we took a number of initiatives which actually are core to our business, not just as a philanthropy, but these are purpose-driven initiatives that drive the business extremely well and give us competitive advantage, even as we are doing a lot of good in the society. I think these are some of the things which I feel very good about, and most importantly than anything else, we have built, and I believe that I have got one of the best teams anywhere in the world. We have hand-picked people, top-notch people from around the world, and then they have been performing brilliantly. And that's what sort of shows our brand momentum, our business momentum, and it has been good. So this, I would say, I'm very grateful for 10 very, very productive years and very fulfilling and gratifying years.
So personally, for you, also have been a good time.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you feel the brand is more powerful now, has more strength, and is it in a better position than it was 10 years ago?
Absolutely. So now we are the 12th most powerful brand or valuable brand in the world. We are one of the top risers, which means we are one of the fastest growing brands. We have done some very cutting edge stuff in the world of marketing, and case studies have been written about the work that we have done at Mastercard from the marketing and communications point of view by business schools like Harvard Business School has a case study on us. Yale School of Management has case study, and so on. So there have been a number of case studies. And also the entire learnings that we have had here and what we are trying to do into the future, I captured it and written a book called Quantum Marketing, which went on to become a Wall Street Journal bestseller and published in 9 languages so far. And it has won 6 international book awards. So I feel very good about it and where we are doing. So for the craft of marketing, I feel that we have done some good stuff. For the business, we have done a lot of good stuff. For the society, we have done a lot of good stuff. And for the teams, we have built some real winning and successful teams. So overall, it has been very, very good. Touch wood.
Okay. Well, as far as your position reads, you're in charge of marketing and communications.
Correct.
Marketing and communications are seen in some quarters in some company as conflicting sides, and perhaps they are fighting each other for the money, for the position, for being more prevalent within the company or not. What's good about one person holding both positions, and how do you solve the conundrum or the conflict between those areas?
So actually, there is no conflict at all, if you think about it, between marketing and communications. They are two sides of the same coin. The way I describe marketing is where you are trying to talk about your product, about your company, about your brand, about your services, and try to impress upon consumers and prospects to come to your brand. Communications is where you're making other people tell your story. Whether it is the journalists, it's the influencers. So it's basically, do you want to tell the story? Do you want somebody else to tell your story? But it is the same story. There's a consistency of the messaging, and this is something which is very important. So that's why I keep saying marketing and communications are like two sides of the same coin. One side is marketing, one side is communications. They are not different. They cannot be in conflict. They have to be together. Therefore, we call it at Mastercard the integrated marketing and communications area.
Okay. So you're happy with both?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, you have an extensive experience, not only in Mastercard, but also in other company you work for a long time, which is Citigroup, in the financial market and financial communications and so on. How do you feel that marketing of this kind of entities of companies has evolved along this century? Let's put it the last 2 decades. It has changed a lot. It has made a different approach to consumers. I feel that in Spain, at least, it has evolved a lot. It has changed to a more boring or serious or institutional tone to a much more personal. But I don't know how do you feel about it? What's your experience?
Yeah, so marketing has radically changed and disrupted over the last 2 decades plus. So in fact, in 2007, when iPhone was launched and when Facebook has scaled, the concept of connected mobility that is ubiquitous and the aspect of social media platforms, these two have come and taken over people's lives. They have become such an integral part of people's lives, these two, which is social media and mobile devices, that marketing had to invent, and actually marketing moved from the third paradigm to the fourth paradigm. So we have things like mobile marketing, influencer marketing, social media marketing, location-based marketing. These are the different kinds of marketing that have actually been born out of the transformation that happened and the paradigm shift in 2007 precisely. Now, we are actually witnessing yet another paradigm shift. Each time there was a paradigm shift in marketing in the past, it was two technologies that were actually making the shift happen and enabling and driving the shift. But today, we are in the midst of 24 technologies that are hugely disruptive that have come upon us. Artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, Internet of Things, smart speakers, wearables, 3D printing, 5G telecommunications, autonomous vehicles, the list goes, right? On and on. 24 different technologies which are coming. And each one of these technologies is very powerful. The confluence of these 24 technologies is going to lead to an unprecedented disruption, and we are already seeing that happening. What this requires is actually, on the one hand, we need to figure out what these technologies are, what their capabilities are, and how to make sure that they are used by the marketers to be able to do better marketing. But on the other hand, it's also very fascinating that when you are looking at this paradigm shift that is happening, the technologies are available to every company. When it becomes more technological, you need to become more human as far as marketing is concerned. So if you become boring, institutional, and dull, actually you're doing bad marketing. You have to be human. You have to be emotionally appealing. You have to generate the right kind of feelings and connect with the consumers through their passions. That's what new marketing is about. And in fact, I keep telling that these 24 technologies are changing our lives so dramatically. The old ways of doing marketing will not work. We need to reinvent marketing. We need to rethink the strategies. We need to rethink the theories and principles of marketing. And that new way of marketing is what I call quantum marketing. And this is extremely exciting because for the first time ever in the history, you have got such capabilities and possibilities, and the speed with which you can do them, if you know how to use technology and you don't lose the connection to humanity and the purpose that you want to drive as a company, I think this is the time to be in marketing, and it's so exciting and inspiring.
Okay, thank you. And do you think, as we were talking earlier, that financial companies has followed this path adequately, that they have adapted to all these novelties, and this, so that their marketing strategies have really evolved and getting more modern and adapted to the times?
Not really. I think many of the companies many of the industries have to still reinvent themselves. In the financial services, you got what you call as new banks or new fintech companies which are coming, which are disrupting quite a lot. And banks are dealing with that. There are some aspects of banks which are really valuable, like banks are highly trusted. And trust is such a useful asset for any organization. In this fifth paradigm of marketing, banks have got it. Traditional banks have scale. Traditional banks have stability by and large. So when you look at that kind of a thing, the financial services have got some terrific advantages. But on the other hand, if you look at some of these Silicon Valley based companies or the technology companies, they are disrupting the entire field of marketing. So I think the financial services have to still go a long way to learn how to do and to reframe marketing for the future. So it's in the midst of a transformation, I would say.
Okay. Well, talking to you now a little bit. You've worked in very different fields within companies, innovation, sales, data, analytics, and so on. Now you're in marketing and communications. But how do you feel that working in all those areas has contributed to you be a better marketing professional, a better marketing practitioner?
Yeah, in fact, I feel very blessed that I have spent time in all those areas, whether it is sales or mergers and acquisitions or technology or customer service. I sort of ran even at very large businesses as a business head. And I was also at one point the chairman and CEO of a company called Diners Club, which was, at that time owned by Citibank. And I was seconded to that company to run that company. What I find is when you go through all those other experiences and you come into marketing, you become very enlightened. You bring those experiences to your marketing role. You understand the connections between marketing and various parts of the business, whether it is technology, whether it is finance, whether it is data analytics. You understand the implications. Plus, also, since you have seen marketing from the other side, you know what to expect from marketers. So, for example, when I was managing businesses, I would give a lot of hard time to marketing people, say that, guys and girls, you need to be clear. I'm giving you tens of millions of dollars. You need to tell me what I'm getting for my business in return. What is the bottom line impact? What is the top line impact? What is the ROI? And it should be credible. And what I found always was that many of the marketers, unfortunately, they are not quantitatively savvy. They are not technologically savvy. They are more right-brained, which means they understand psychology, design, sociology, anthropology, all these softer aspects of marketing they know very, very well. But these days, in particular, marketing is both soft and hard, which means you need to be technology-driven, which is left brain. You need to be very data-driven, but you also have to exercise your right brain because you need to have that humanity. You need to have the design sensibilities. You need to understand the psychology. So I keep saying that these days you require to be a very good marketer to be like Leonardo da Vinci, who was an artist and an engineer. He was a scientist as well as a sculptor. We need to bring that kind of a mindset and capabilities to marketing. And I think the more roles that you do outside of marketing, you get a better perspective of marketing. And that's what I found is very beneficial. And in fact, I keep encouraging my team members as well, say that you need to have job rotations. Don't just be a lifelong marketing specialist, but move to different parts of the company. And when you do that, and when you come back to marketing, you'll be such a better marketer than you were before.
Okay. Well, now you're in marketing. what you like best about it? What fascinates you about marketing? What do you like to work on it day in, day out at the moment?
Actually, a lot. So there are a lot of things about marketing that I like. So the first thing I love about marketing is the opportunity to create and innovate and see those creations and innovations take physical shape right in front of your eyes. There are very few fields where you can imagine things and bring those imagination to life in real life in a tangible fashion. I love that aspect of marketing. Number two, I believe that for any company, marketing should be the single biggest competitive advantage. It is not scale, it is not margins, it is not market share. All those are good to have, but the biggest competitive advantage for a company would be marketing. And that's something which I like, which is to make a difference to the business, to fuel the business. The third one for me, what is very exciting about marketing is you really can make a difference in the world. There are very few functions or very few other roles that can help you make a difference in the world the way marketing can. As marketers, we understand people. As marketers, we are creative with our solutions. As marketers, we know how to communicate those solutions in a compelling fashion, and we know how to make things happen. We have resources, we have network. So we have the unlimited capability of making a change and making a difference in this world, and that's extremely exciting. So, and it's very fulfilling. So as as a professional, you don't want to be only successful for yourself, but you want to give something back to the community, back to the society, and also make a difference to the society. And marketing gives me that opportunity in an extraordinary fashion. And this is something which I thoroughly enjoy. And I think, I have been in this field for more than 3.5 decades, in the business, in the world of business, and I'm still sticking with marketing. Obviously, I love it. And that's why I'm staying on.
Okay, that's good to hear. But maybe there are several things about marketing or several mantras or assumptions or things that are saying as eternal truths or things like that that you don't like or that you do not believe are true or that you do not feel comfortable about it. There are some things that you do not agree on.
Oh, yeah, a lot of things I do not agree. So, for example, I believe that the concept of loyalty that we practice in marketing is completely fallacious. People, in fact, studies have shown that more than 70% of people are not loyal in their personal lives to their partners, whether they are spouses or whether they live in partners, whatever, more than 70%. Now, as marketing community and as companies, we spend more than $1 trillion every year running some miles program, some points program, or cashback program, and expect consumers to be loyal to us. That is stupid. Consumers are not going to be loyal just because you are throwing a few points at them. We need to rethink the whole aspect of loyalty. My belief is clearly that it is not loyalty that we will be building in marketing, but it is actually preference management. They are not just semantics. They are vastly different. You need a different mindset. You need different strategic framework. You need to have a different technology stack. Every time that the consumer is making a decision, you want to make sure that the consumer makes the decision in your favor. You have to earn the consumer's favor every single time that the consumer is actually making a decision. Loyalty has got a level of stability and longevity, which doesn't exist in the world of marketing. So I would say loyalty, for example, I just don't agree with it at all. We have to reinvent loyalty. Likewise, when you look at advertising, when you do it, today you believe that, oh, advertising will make a huge difference and so on. But I can tell you, consumers hate advertisements. They're having excellent experience when they are looking at some videos or when they are looking at some digital content, and advertisements are non-stop interrupting consumers' experience. So consumers are so sick and tired of advertisements. They are putting ad blockers on their devices, which means as marketers, we cannot reach those consumers. Consumers are moving to paid platforms just to have zero ads in their experience. When consumers are saying that I don't like you guys to advertise to me, I don't want you to interrupt my experience, and it's also there clearly that there is a over information or over clutter of advertisements. Today, there are more than 5,000 to 10,000 advertisements that an average consumer gets bombarded, and consumers are literally tuning out of these ads. So when you have this, we need to reinvent the paradigm of advertising. So the need for communicating to the consumers and convincing them does not change, but how we do it has to be reinvented, has to be reimagined. So advertising, I disagree with the way we are doing it. Insights, consumer insights. Today we do market research in very, very, how would you say, stupid ways, to put it very bluntly. Most of the decisions, if not all of the decisions that consumers make, are driven by feelings and emotions. They're not driven by logic or rationale. And also, consumers' decision making is always subconscious. Very rarely it is conscious. When you try to ask consumers, why did you buy this toothbrush? Or why did you make this particular service? Or whatever it is, you are asking them to think consciously about an unconscious process and tell you why they have done what they have done. And you take that as the truth and base your strategies on it. So you need to really reinvent the way you get to insights. There are lots of what you call new technologies available, like, for example, looking at the brain activity when the consumers are subjected to different stimulants and understand how things work in their minds. It's a very different approach. So today, there are a lot of things that we need to reach, that we need to change, reinvent, and even radically transform.
Okay, thank you very much. You're an author. You have written a book. You run a blog, so on. So you obviously you like to write. What does it give to you? Why do you like it? How does it help you? In what ways? Why do you enjoy it?
So I think writing is in my family. My grandfather has written a book. My father has written a book. And I love reading a lot. And I try to read one book every week. And that's something which gives me a tremendous amount of joy. So I'm basically a bibliophile. So this is something which is there. Now, number two, I have been taught in the classical way of how to write in my school and in my college. And I like that. So I like writing. And the third thing is, I believe that I have ideas that are worth sharing with the world. I have concept, I have knowledge, I have experience that I want to share with the world. And I have benefited by reading so many wonderful authors. So I feel it is my duty to share my thoughts, my thinking, my experiences, so others hopefully can benefit out of it, just like I benefited from my predecessors' experiences and their insights. So for me, this is a very sacred journey. I absolutely love it. I have written my first book, as I mentioned, Quantum Marketing. And I hope I'll be writing a few other books, and I have got ideas of what those books will be on. It's a matter of time, and I will do it.
Okay. Well, a good number of our readers and viewers have, of course, advertising professionals, marketing professionals. And if in that community you pronounce the name Mastercard, the word priceless comes immediately. Talk a little bit about what priceless has given to the company. What does it mean for the company? Why it has been so successful and important?
So every brand has got something we call the essence of the brand. It's like the soul of the brand. And the soul or the essence of Mastercard brand is priceless. Now, in 1997, when priceless, the concept of priceless was thought of, I was not there with Mastercard at that time. It was somebody else, and they have done such a phenomenal job. It was fascinating. What the whole concept was, Mastercard is perceived as a payments brand, but payments brand is very transactional. We don't want to be a payments brand. We want a brand to make your life easy, to make your life comfortable, to make your life secure, and for you to experience things very seamlessly. So seamlessly that you don't even have to bother about the payment product. So the whole concept at that time they came up with is they show a father and a son going to a baseball match. And the whole advertisement goes this way. There's a price of the ticket, X dollars. Price of soda, $5. Price of autographed baseball, some $40. But the time spent with your son, priceless. There are certain things in life that money cannot buy. Those are the real priceless things in your life. That is what you should focus your attention on. For everything else, there is Mastercard. It's such a beautiful expression of telling people, be aware of what is priceless to you and focus on them. Other things, Mastercard will take care of, like payments, right? It is become such iconic and an instant hit the moment it was launched. It was very successful for us. There is not a single other payments brand for sure that is uniquely associated with one powerful concept like priceless. So we feel very blessed. But there is a problem. When the world changes, priceless, as I said, was invented in 1997. But by the time I joined Mastercard, which was in 2013, the world is a completely different place. When priceless was invented, there was no internet, there was no mobile, there was no social media. All those things, when they change, my first question was, is priceless still relevant? And if it is relevant, are we doing it the right way? And my conclusion was, priceless is relevant. It is actually timeless. It has got timelessness to it, that whole concept. The human truth doesn't change, but it needs to evolve. So from priceless being a pure advertising platform for Mastercard, I moved it to become a holistic marketing platform, which means we infuse priceless into everything that we do, whether it is how we create products, how we actually distribute our products, how you give the experience to the consumers, and so on. And that evolution has really stood us in great stead. And today, priceless is thriving. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary of priceless. And very few brands actually have platforms that last for as long as that. And we are very fortunate that ours is one of them. And the reason for that is, as I said, there is fundamental human truth that it is grounded in, plus it evolves with time in the most appropriate way.
Okay, thank you. Well, you've mentioned earlier when you were talking about all the technologies that are impacting marketing, and I'm talking about in artificial intelligence. Perhaps you would like to elaborate a little. What do you feel most interested about it now at the moment? What do you feel will be its impact on marketing and communications?
Yeah, I think artificial intelligence is by far the single biggest technological breakthrough that is in front of us. It is already happening. If you have experienced ChatGPT, or you have looked at DAL-E, or you have looked at Midjourney, or Val-E, these are platforms which actually showcase to you the possibilities of where artificial intelligence can actually lead this world to. Like any good technology, it can be used for good, it can also be used for bad. So we need to have, right from this stage, whether it is regulations by the government or the commitments and accountabilities for companies which are creating these platforms, to keep the world a safe place and make sure that artificial intelligence evolves in the right direction. What is the impact to marketing? Now, while ChatGPT is new, artificial intelligence itself is not new. And I have been using artificial intelligence at least for 5 years in marketing at Mastercard. So, for example, we have got something called the digital marketing engine. The digital marketing engine, which was originally created in Singapore, looks at all the social media and mainstream media micro trends, predicts the next micro trend. And once it predicts the next micro trend, it looks at the whole library of communication offers and promotions that Mastercard has got, picks out the right promotion or the message, and then buys media, creates an advertisement, does the A/B testing in real time, and optimizes the ad, and then measures the ROI. All this is done completely automated and driven by AI. Physically, if somebody has to sit and do it, it's not possible for human beings to do it. And we get productivity and efficiencies that are 4 to 8 times, not just percentage increases, but 4 to 8 times multiples of productivity and efficiencies that we get for the campaigns. That's number one. Number two, when you look at things like B2B campaigns or B2B RFP responses. So these are response per proposal, which when a bank sends it to us or when a merchant sends it to us, you're responding to it. In the past, it used to take about 7 weeks to get the response, first draft of the response done. Now, we can actually do it in less than 1 day. So what used to take so long takes just 1 day. Next, when you look at ChatGPT and these creative things, it's amazing. There are programs now to write text. And very compelling. They're actually very easy and very effective. You got programs or artificial intelligence platforms which create visuals based on verbal description of what you want. Artificial intelligence now creates music. Artificial intelligence creates what you call synthetic humans. Now, the way the entire thing is emerging, the process of creating advertisements and communication strategies, I think will become completely transformed. It's not just advertising. Every single aspect. How do you get insights? How do you create campaigns? How do you buy media? How do you optimize things? How do you develop new products? Everything across the entire marketing value chain is going to be dramatically enabled by artificial intelligence. And to me, this is the biggest promise that we have got that is truly transformational in the world of marketing. Very exciting.
Okay. Thank you. I have some more time yet?
I have to leave in 2 minutes' time.
In 2 minutes. So our last question, and the one we always pose to our interviewees, and I would like you to give us your to have your answer on that. And is we ask for a recommendation. We ask for a recommendation, a reading recommendation, a viewing recommendation, a book, a series, an article, something that you have liked it and you will like. It don't need to be work related, just something for enjoyment or whatever that you have liked recently and you would like to share with our readers that you recommend.
Yes. In fact, one of the books which I really liked a lot, and it puts things in perspective. Actually, I'll give you 2 books. The first one is called The Happiness Advantage by Sean Achor. Superb book. And it puts life in a different perspective altogether. It's brilliant. Normally people say that I will work hard, I will do well in my company, I will earn money, I'll get promotions, I'll get name, I'll get prestige, and so on, and then I'll be happy. But the reality is, happiness is the precondition to success. Happiness is not the result of success. This is brilliantly articulated and one of the best books that I have read. This is number one. The second book is people talk about in professionals about time management. And time management is something which, you want all productivity tools and time management tools, calendars and checklists and note. I found one book, it's called 4,000 Weeks. It's got time management for the mortals, and it talks about 4,000 weeks. If you look at the entire lifespan of human beings, it is just 4,000 weeks. That's all we live for. That's about 80 years plus. And the key thing is, how do you really look? Do you even need to look at time management for this? Because the time is so short. And if you were to think about it, brilliant book. I would strongly recommend. These are the 2 books I would say in the recent past that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raja. One last word about your country. How do you recently has been declared officially the most populated country in the world and is really a big force in the world. How do you see it?
I think that country, India, has got a phenomenal promise ahead. It's not only the world's most populous country, it's also the world's youngest country. While many of the countries are aging, if you look at the average age of the people, the older population is actually much higher than the younger population. Whereas in India, it is the other way around. So I think India has got a long runway. They have got a phenomenal potential. They got rich tradition. the kind of talent that they have got is incredible. They're very tech savvy. They're hungry for success, and they work like crazy. Their work ethic is fantastic. So I feel terrific about the prospects that India has got ahead of it, and proud of what that country is accomplishing.
Okay, I mark your words.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Right.
Thank you. Really appreciate, and hope to connect with you again soon. And thank you very much for having me on your show.
Okay. It's been a real pleasure and a privilege. Thank you very, very much. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.